Hey, folks, and welcome to week 5. This week, I don't have quite as much to instruct you on, since last week was a lot of information heavy, like material. So this week, you're going to be putting together your core 2, which is going to be your Space Cat Précis and or your Space Cat one pager, and then your rhetorical Précis. So if you explored Space Cat a lot last week, then you saw that it was an acronym for the rhetorical situation and how we can approach texts and how they argue. So as we went through last week, we kind of focused in on like the basics of rhetoric, like ethos, pathos, and logos, and then like the rhetorical appeals and how we like persuade, and then like what are fallacies with the art of persuasion. And fallacies are those flaws in argumentation. So this week is kind of like where we get to see all of the components come together and you get to kind of like express it in a way. So you're going to be doing a peer workshop on your rhetorical précis, and then you're also going to submit your Space Cat one pager and rhetorical précis, which counts as your FA2. So let's kind of walk through what we're doing this week. Okay, so I'm going to show you a Précis model, and then also there is a section in your Norton that's a guide to rhetorical writing that can be very helpful. Since we're going to be focusing on speeches, you can also look at media design in your book, and putting down, things together on a page, and then the art of arguing, which these are all very important and helpful sections. All right, moving right along. Okay, so if we go down, here are a couple of resources that are available to you. There is a template, and then some examples from MyShot that you can use as the basis for your rhetorical précis. Also, the one thing that is kind of missing here is the Stranger Things rhetorical précis lesson. So I'm going to pull that up separately. Give me 1 second. Make sure that this is posted. Well, I can't locate it right now, and so I'm just going to kind of keep moving. If I do find it, I'm going to go ahead and post it so that you all have access to it. But without like getting into it, so I've got a video on how to write a rhetorical précis, and then also the one thing I wanted to show you specifically regarding like the way that you lay out this project is I want you to look at the Okay. All right. So here are the assignment guidelines. Okay. So a one pager. What is the one pager? So a one pager is not one page of text, which is what I think a lot of people think about when they think about like one page. But actually, what we're doing is we're filling up a page with kind of a combination of quotes, text, visuals, and seeing how like an argument fits together in an artistic way so that you can kind of see like your thinking visualized on a page. And so what do I mean by that? I'll show you a couple of examples. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to pick a text from the list below. And so as you look, but down here, you're going to see there's lots of speeches and you just kind of like select your choice. But what I've got all of the identifiers, but you're going to identify all elements of Space Cat somewhere on your page, 2 quotes, and then a rhetorical précis paragraph. And then in the visual, you're going to list 5 essential rhetorical choices and fit the entire page. So what does that look like? It looks like this. Okay, so this is a hand-drawn one. This one, and there are lots of examples on the document, but this one has a lot of text. So I don't really think that you have to worry about like having this much text, just FYI. However, there are some other examples, but I do have a rhetorical précis, and as you can see, it's pretty short. And then let's hop over here to a digital example. Okay, so this is not in a précis paragraph, but it does break down all the space cat elements, and then it's got a digital version that was done with Canva, so that you can kind of see, like, if you put the rhetorical précis paragraph on the front, like this is what it looks like. Okay, all right, and so I did find my lesson. Haha, I knew that it was there somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and back up and kind of walk you through the précis paragraph and what I'm expecting of you. So for this week, you're going to do your précis paragraph on your text. Also, like, let me just make sure that this is clear. I am no way endorsing like Nazi like symbolism here. This is specifically about a speech from Winston Churchill. Just, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that that was clear if that was triggering for anybody. So I'm going to move in over here. Okay, so posted here is the rhetorical précis notes, Stranger Things. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. All right. All right, so what you're looking at is the idea of précis is to be precise, okay? So like specific in what you say. So it's not summary, rhetorical analysis below the surface, so it's less obvious, it takes extra time and attention to find it. So rhetorical analysis goes deep, and so it's saying like what's being said, how it's being said, and then like how it's convincing. So this is you. This is a rhetorical précis, right? So it's a tiny representative of the world of rhetorical analysis. And aren't you cute together, right? So the précis is a brief representation of what the text says and does, but it's not a summary. It's an analytical condensation of the original text, and it sums up your understanding of how text works. And it can be made on any piece that it like has a claim. And it can also like work through to create a quasi introduction paragraph, but we're not going that far. So you could do a full rhetorical analysis essay. We're not getting quite there. We're going to be our small little selves right over here for now, but then we're going to be pushing to get full pieces by the end. All right. So in your like support class of 045, you have a worksheet that's kind of like this. It is super helpful when filling this out. And you do have like this template that is attached. So, but what you want to focus in on is like your power verbs, your rhetorical verbs, and like what they're saying specifically about the text. So your first sentence focuses in on who the author is and what the thesis of the piece is. So Toni Morrison in the essay Disturbing Noises and the Kindness of Sharks implies that racism in the United States has affected the craft and process of American novelists. And then you say how she supports it. She supports her implication by describing how Ernest Hemingway writes about Black characters in novels and short stories. And then her purpose is to make her readers aware of the cruel reality of racism, underlying some of the greatest works of American literature in order to help them examine the far-reaching effects of racism has not only on those discriminated against, but also those who discriminate. So this is like kind of layering in the argument of like what the text is doing and how the text is communicating its argument. Okay. And so freeze this page if you need to, but this is the whole paragraph put together. So pause this if you need to. All right. So on that note, this week is all about learning how to do a rhetorical précis and then putting together your one pager. Please contact me. If you need anything, I will have some sporadic email access, but I will help as much as I can. See y'all later.